Clay is a versatile material. Its malleability and ability to be shaped and molded make it a popular medium for artists and sculptors. Today, I'm going to try making a product using air-dried clay. It has a unique visual appearance with a range of colors from white to brown and reddish hues. At first, I wasn't sure what I wanted to create. As I touched the clay, my first instinct was to knead it. The texture of clay is pliable, malleable, and smooth to touch. While moist, it can feel cool and refreshing, with a slightly slippery or sticky sensation. As it dries, it may become more brittle and rough, with a grainy and brittle feel. As the clay softened with the warmth of my palm, I smelled its distinctive scent. The smell of it can be described as earthy, musky, and slightly damp. It may have a natural organic aroma, with hints of minerals and vegetation, similar to the scent of wet soil after a rain shower. I tried shaping it into a ball by rolling it in my palms, and adding some water made it softer and easier to shape. I flattened the ball, and the shape and moist texture of the clay reminded me of a river, summer, and the dark-shaped swimming ring I loved as a child, so I tried to carve out the middle and shape it into a swimming ring, so that I think the experience of using clay to recreate a beloved object in this production is an example of the concept of attachment at work in the context of clay ecology. In the context of clay ecology, attachment refers to the emotion connection or bond that a person may form with clay as a material, which arises from the tactile experience of working with clay. Nowadays, viewing clay as a material of consumption makes us forget that we can indeed care for clay differently and create new linkage with nature. By recreating a childhood favorite object using air-dried clay, I was not only engaging with the material in a tactile way, but also evoking memories and emotions associated with that object. The act of molding the clay into the shape of a swimming ring, with its associated sensory experiences of warmth and moisture, likely deepened attachment to the material and the creative process. This attachment can then potentially influence the direction of creative work. During the process, the clay's edges started to crack due to moisture loss. I then molded the tail and head of the duck, but it was difficult to secure their position. If I pressed too hard, the parts would deform, but if I was too gentle, the head would fall off. So I tried to use a plastic stick to glue the edges of each part together. The edges of the clay dried and hardened faster than I expected, so I quickly completed this step. My creative process can also be related to the concept of folding. According to standards, the concept of folding refers to the process of bringing together different elements, such as ideas or materials, in order to create something new. Folding is not a linear process, but rather a dynamic and complex one. In this process, I imbue the product with emotions, memories, and ideas. The texture and the shape of the clay triggered memories of summer and childhood experiences, which informed the decision to create a swimming ring. The challenges faced during the molding process, such as the cracking edges and difficulties securing the tail and head of the duck, add to the emotion depth of the finished product, resulting in a unique and meaningful product. Finally, I added color to the eyes, and the body needed to dry completely before I could paint it. Even though the finished product isn't really a swimming ring, it can still be used in many ways. It can be used not only as a decoration, but also a container for small scented candles and other items. Overall, the making of clay is a process of interaction and connection with nature. Materials are described as bonds of curriculum in developmental progression from exploration to representation. Even if the same is the same, different materials can inspire different ways of thinking for creators. Clay, as a three-dimensional medium, provides children with a completely new way of creating, different from painting.